Minecraft's 1.19 Wild update gave us the Sculk blocks, the Warden, Disc 5 and most importantly, the Ancient City. And people from the lore community came up with various theories. For example, MatPat said the Warden came through the Ancient City portal, while the Ancient Builders were trying to create a portal in order to escape the Wither. And my question to that is, what's the point of the stronghold then? Retro Gaming Now said ancient cities are actually some complex structures built in order to lure and trap the Warden, so that the ancient builders would somehow funnel the Warden's power. Okay, so the city center is not a portal, and Sculk, the Warden, the ancient builders and the Wither once coexisted at the same time. As in, the ancient builders knew about the powers of the Warden, dabbled with Sculk magic and thought, no bro, this isn't dangerous enough, bring in the Wither too. Now that I think about it, maybe there's an argument to be made about the Wither being a failed Warden experiment. Maybe I'll try that theory another time, who knows, but for now I want to say both Matt and RGN are wrong and thank them for their service, because I couldn't forge this theory without them. So big thanks to you brothers, without you I would have missed some very important details. Without further ado, join me for a dive beneath the theory. Okay, theory! And subscribe to the channel because I promise next video I'll have my own intro. In order to correctly understand Mojang's take on this, we have to not only analyze the game mechanics, but also the way information about said mechanics is formulated. For example, on Minecraft Wiki on the Deep Dark biome page, it says this is the only biome where ancient cities can generate. Other structures that can be found in the Deep Dark include dungeons, strongholds, and amethyst geodes. It also says no mobs spawn in this biome, but if a player triggers a Sculk Shrieker a certain amount of times, the Warden may appear. RGN's theory implies that whoever built the ancient cities choose this specific biome, and I will argue that Sculk and Warden are not the inhabitants of the caves. For this part, I agree with Matt. The ancient builders were trying to escape the Wither by going deep underground, and I would argue that the ancient city was not built in a deep dark biome. It was just a huge cave big enough for them to shelter entire cities worth of population. So then, where was MatPat wrong? Well, I do think the ancient city center is indeed a portal, but I don't think the Warden came through that portal. Actually, let's rephrase this. I think the ancient builders intended to create a portal, but they didn't succeed. There won't be a new dimension nor an update where the portal can be activated. This is what I think happened. The ancient builders needed something powerful. I think they were at war with someone else, and they were losing badly. So they acted careless and resurrected the Wither. Keep in mind that we talk about the same ancient builders that built the pyramids with the TNT traps, you know, the ones that invented the minecarts and underground railroads. Space travel was discovered by them. You know, nether portals, nether is below overworld. What I'm saying is these guys are clearly very smart, so there must be a reason why they made the mistake of resurrecting the Wither. Cause if it wasn't a mistake, why would they go and hide underground? They clearly did a risky move and tried to experiment with soul sand and whatever out in the open, clearly not taking into consideration all the risks. We'll talk about the Builders' War another time. Right now, let's focus on the ancient city. So we know it was built as a hiding spot from the Wither. It housed lots of people, I'll explain why I think that's so, and it was also the base of operation for the invention of time travel. The Wither was unstoppable. If the builders could beat the Wither or control it, they would not need to hide nor run through a portal. But why did I say time travel? Couldn't they run into the nether, either live there or travel far away, then resurface in the overworld? Well, the Nether is actually the place where war started. The ancient builders completely lost control over the Nether and were now losing the overworld as well. That's why they rushed with the Soul Sand experiment and unleashed the Wither. So Nether was inaccessible, the Wither was eating through the overworld, and the builders realized there's no way to fix this. When you break your phone and it's beyond repair, you get a new one and you are more careful. But you can't get another planet, so what's the solution? The ancient city portal was meant to carry the builders back in time and prevent the war and of course the creation of the Wither. But either traveling back in time is impossible or the builders were not quick enough, because the ancient portal does not work. Now, what happened with the builders? What do I mean by being quick? And when does Sculk appear according to my theory? The builders were game overed by the Wither, and just so you know, story-wise, I don't see the Wither as this floaty three-headed ribcage that moves as if he's the CEO of epilepsy. That's just an interpretation of the actual Wither, so we can summon him on our potato PCs. I think that the Wither actually looks like the Wither from story mode, otherwise why would they make him so different from the original? Going back to the theory, the Wither made the builder souls skedaddle their bodies, which is exactly how the Sculk appeared. Sculk is actually remains of Wither with trapped builder souls inside it. And coming back to what the wiki says, this is the only biome where ancient cities can generate. Remember, ancient cities were not built in Sculk-infested caves, but the caves became infested with Sculk because that's where the ancient cities were, and within ancient cities lived lots and lots of victims. That's also why mobs don't naturally spawn in the deep dark, because Sculk already gathered their souls. If the undead mobs don't have souls, aka experience, they're not undead anymore, they're just dead. So what about the Warden? Is he the guardian of Sculk? Is he a corrupted iron golem, and why did the Illagers come to ancient cities and try to patch the bridges up? Wow, did you just use that as a cliffhanger so people would subscribe to see more? Yes, I did. Okay, bye!